Today on the channel, we do the unthinkable. We unbox one of the rarest Jakks Ruthless Aggression figures of all time, Off the Ropes, JBL.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for an unboxing of epic proportions today as we unboxed John Bradshaw Layfield Off the Ropes Series 11, one of the all-time rarest Jakks Ruthless Aggression era figures. And just sit right back, I'll tell you a tale. We'll talk about Off the Ropes. Off the Ropes, as you guys know, started as Walmart, KB, a lot of normal retailers back in the day. You could buy those alongside the Ring Rages, the Ruthless Aggression, the Adrenalines, things like that. Well, slowly after a while, they morphed into a store exclusive. And what store? Rite Aid. Rite Aid is something I never had in my area, still don't to this day have in my area. Rite Aid stores, a lot like a CVS or a Walgreens. Didn't have them here, so Off the Ropes was out of sight, out of mind. Not sure I would have bought this anyways back in the day, but I didn't even have the option in my area, and a lot of you guys probably in the same boat with no Rite Aids, and some of you guys probably have tons of Rite Aids. Depends where you live. And the funny thing about these Off the Ropes, just a couple of years ago, people were still finding Off the Ropes figures at their Walgreens years after Jakks has lost the license. And, you know, it's very similar to the Walgreens. Like in my area, I find Elites from 50 sets ago every once in a while. It's just crazy how that works. And you got to think, you know, a Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, always call those our grandma toys out there. Grandma, she's going to get her prescription. She's taking you as a kid. She's going to pick up one of these things for you, and this is what you're going to get. He's probably an $18 figure too, as those stores are always so much more expensive usually on figures. But the Off the Ropes became a Rite Aid exclusive, out of sight, out of mind for somebody like me. Like I said, I probably wouldn't have picked this up anyways, but being a store exclusive and a regional exclusive, making these figures very, very hard to get. And then the Off the Ropes primarily went from originally when they were at Walmart's, KB's, the early series, they were modern releases. They were actual different figures, where the later series became straight up repaints or straight up re-releases is what they became. And this JBL is a very interesting one. It's funny when you think about it in your head, but if you go through the list of all the Ruthless Aggression figures, this is the only announcer JBL figure we ever received from the Jakks line. We got kind of the $1 Million Man inspired in a suit, but no tie. This is the only one we got with a tie. Now, this is extremely rare, this figure, is the funny thing. And you're probably saying, Kyle, you already have this loose. About a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know, whatever it's been, I finally tracked down a minty loose one after looking for like 2.5 years for one. These do not come up ever. And this one finally came up just recently on eBay, and I said, I can't believe this is here. I don't really need this, but I know how rare it is. I know how long I searched for this. It never comes up. It's mint on card. Well, Kyle got it for $4 and like $10 shipping. 14 bucks for this. I said, I don't have a use for it. I have no plans for it. I already have a minty loose one. I don't really need this, but the rarity of this one, having it on card, I said, you know, 14 bucks, I'm just going to do it. I'll stick it away for a rainy day just to say I have it. One of those things like that. It's just, I searched so long for one, and I finally got a minty loose one, and then this comes up. I just couldn't pass this up. But why are you going to unbox it? Well, unfortunately, so I got this off of eBay, as you can see. I got it here. It was in weekly purchases. But unfortunately, they shipped it terrible. The box came opened. It came damaged. There was no protection, and we are falling off the card, unfortunately. Just absolutely falling off the card, hanging on by a thread. Talk about heartache, talk about disappointment. That's exactly what I had here. It's like, I have no use for a loose one. I don't need it. So I reached out to the seller. Luckily, they refunded me and said, just keep it. You know, it's one of those things is, we've seen a lot in collectibles, not just action figures, but collectibles across the board. Things are, value is an interesting thing. This is very rare. This does not come up. If you search around for this, you don't see this very often. You see ones without ties, things like that, but this exact JBL Off the Ropes, just don't see it. It doesn't come up. I think like 3 have come up in the last 3 years on eBay, something like that. So it's funny. It's very rare. It was a store exclusive, the end of the line where it wasn't a lot produced. So it's really, really rare, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's worth an absolute fortune. A lot of people try to sell things like this, and we've seen a lot of examples over the years of action figures and collectibles like this that, well, it's rare. It's got to be selling for $500. There's a seller on eBay right now, a bunch of Jakks class superstars, and like all of them, he's like $10,000 for one of 100, or even one of 3,000, like Undertakers, things like that. Well, that's a worthy figure. That's a figure worth maybe 200 bucks, something like that. But 10,000, 1,000, you're crazy, and we see stuff like that all the time. So just because it is super, super rare, it doesn't mean it's worth a lot of money. It's just like my shoe. Hey, it's my shoe. It's the only one that ever has been worn by me. Does anybody want that? No, nobody wants that. I mean, maybe that's a bad example, but I think we get where I'm going. Just because it's super rare doesn't mean it's worth a fortune. And you see that a lot with eBay sellers. They could search this. Well, I want to sell my off the ropes JBL. Geez, none of these ever come up. I can set the market. I'm going to put this at $200. And it'll sit there on eBay forever because nobody wants to pay $200 for an off the ropes JBL. So it's interesting dynamic. But when it comes down to it, that great hunt I had for a couple of years trying to track down every Jakks Ruthless Aggression figure, this was one of the hardest ones by a mile. It just does not come up. It is very cool. It's very sentimental to me for that reason. But it's not worth a fortune. But we're going to unbox it. We might as well. I don't have anything else to do with it. It's fallen off the card. Said, hey, let's do an unboxing. And I figured it'd be an interesting story to talk a little off the ropes. But as usual, we're going to do it like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So there's that off the ropes packaging. It just always feels like summertime to me when I see this packaging. I don't know why. They've had blue, they've had orange, kind of bright colors, just off the beaten path. Very cartoony background look. It just feels like summertime. You're going to the pool. Grandma's taking you to the pool. You're going to go get some lemonade or something at Walgreens. She's going to pick up her prescription, and you're going to peruse the old toy section, and you're going to come home with something like this. That's just the way it feels to me. But I do like the packaging here. Of course, JBL in the suit. We talked about it. Comes with the white cowboy hat. Looks really good. You got the WWE logo right there. A little glamour shot. Got his name. A lot going on. On the back of the packaging, we're promoting, and Jakks was a master promoter. I absolutely love it. Warnings, UPCs right there. On the very top, you can see Off the Rope Series 11. You got Shawn Michaels, a straight-up repaint. Ric Flair, a repaint. John Cena, a repaint. JBL, a new figure, like we said. Boogeyman, a repaint. But Randy Orton, also a sleeper one, and I think we might have even unboxed that on the channel a couple of years ago, so look for that one if you want to. But Randy Orton in that shirt, kind of an affliction-style shirt. Always liked that Randy Orton figure. That's a bit of a deep cut. Then you got Deluxe Classics, and then is that Classic Superstars? No, Adrenaline. So you got Deluxe Aggression, not Deluxe Classics. Deluxe Aggression Series 9. Kenny Dykstra, Jimmy Wang Yang, Mr. McMahon, which is a strong figure, John Cena, Kevin Thorne, and Tommy Dreamer. And then you get Adrenaline Series 25, MVP, and Kane, Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, and John Cena and the Great Khali. So a lot of promoting going on. Very, very cool. Breaks my heart to have to unbox this. Like I said, I would like to have this just mint for a rainy day. Not like I could retire on it, but just kind of for nostalgic purposes. It took me so long to find a loose one. To find one mint on card, I was pretty jazzed up about. And that's the way it goes on eBay. You know, it's crazy to think that people will just ship stuff in a bad mailer or no protection or anything like that. You see horror stories all the time about old school WWE Hasbros going in a bubble mailer and coming off the card in the mail. Just breaks your heart, and I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's all I can do. But you can see this. We're hanging on by a thread. Here it goes. Breaks my heart. Oh, there it is. Hard times, disappointment. There's that background. Very cool, though. See you later. There it goes. Get old JBL out. Oh, we got things falling all over the place. See you later off the screen. Oh, my gosh. Off the Rope, Series 11, Spider-Man style. See you later. Little squiggly ring thing. See you later. And then this is the JBL card. Yep. Glue totally worn out and gone. See you later. Oh, there it is. And another one. See you later. There it goes. Spider-Man style. And then we got JBL. Now, I haven't touched it yet. I almost did, but boy, it looks like it's sweating. The figure looks like it's sweating. To me, that's the perfect recipe for the old school Jakks sticky disease. A lot of these old Jakks figures, especially the suited figures, have the Jakks sticky disease, where I always say you got to counteract it with a little packaging tape, put it on the figure, pull it off. Might have to do it a few times. Seems to counteract the stickiness. You might have to rinse and repeat a few times, but I got a feeling when we pull him out of the plastic prison, we're going to have that Jakks sticky disease. So let's see what happens here. Let's pull out the old white cowboy hat. Oh my gosh, it is so sticky. Oh my gosh, it feels like gum right out of somebody's mouth. Look at that stickiness. Oh my gosh, that is bad. This is probably the worst Jakks sticky disease I've ever had. It's all over my fingers. Oh my gosh, and this coat, I can just feel it is going to be an absolute disaster. Oh my gosh, it's so bad it's like sweating in the package. Oh my gosh, I have never seen it this bad. This is the worst I've ever seen of the Jakks stickies. It looks like somebody spilled like a bottle of Coke on him. You can see that glaring and glistening. Yikes, not good, not good at all. This is, if I dropped this on the floor, it would have every piece of carpet, dust, hair, you name it, all over this thing. I mean, I am almost scared to touch it. But I gotta do it for science, right? For this, we gotta do it. But I guess before I get too sticky, let's talk about this figure. Now, JBL, we've had this head sculpt before. We've had JBL with kind of a dress shirt before, dress jacket. We've had him in ring gear. We've had him looking good. So we've seen this before. The suited body we've seen many a times. This is a nice bluish gray suit, though. We didn't get a whole lot. The blue undershirt against the white tie is a fabulous look. This would be perfect for some customs and stuff. But man, oh man, is this sticky. This is just glistening, the stickiness going on here. Articulation-wise, you got the waist, of course. You got the knees single-jointed throughout. This is back in the day. This is like 2008, we're talking. 2009, maybe 2010 with this one. You do have stitching on the jacket, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I can't get over how sticky this is. This is just unbelievable. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to touch it. But yeah, that's not a lot to talk about. Not a lot to review here. But let's go. Oh my gosh, this is just absolutely disgusting. Oh my gosh, it's all over me. It is all over me. I mean, this feels like, it feels like somebody dumped honey all over him is what this feels like. And that's all over my hands. I don't know if that'll show up or not. See if we can get how glistening that is. Can you see that? Just absolutely disgusting. This is just gross. So I'm going to have to really take this upstairs into the sink. I'm going to scrub it real quick. And then, of course, I'm going to try to counteract the stickiness with the tape. And then that'll hopefully be good enough for the glamour shots. And from there, I'm not sure what I'm even going to do with this figure, as I don't really need it so much, but it's one of those things. See you later. Goodbye. So a little bit of ranting, a little bit of raving, a little bit of story time. I had a heartbreak disappointment on my eBay purchase, heartbreak and disappointment on the Sticky Disease, and a little story time about the rarity of the Off the Ropes collection from Jakks. Let's get this sticky hat on him. Just a sticky mess old JBL, getting himself into a sticky situation. But there it is. There's JBL. You got any thoughts on Off the Ropes? You remember going to a Rite Aid as a little kid seeing the Off the Ropes figures? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far. You've heard my story. You might as well give this a thumbs up. You might as well subscribe to the channel. Hit the old notification bell. Follow along on Patreon for videos like this much earlier than traditional YouTube. You also support the channel. Can be part of giveaways. A lot of fun going on the Patreon, of course. Follow me on social media as well. It's SirPaul64 on Twitter. Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. For the stickiest figure I've ever had in my entire life, Off the Rope Series 11 JBL, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon. Disgusting.